Good morning from the TulipDAO. We are here for our 33rd Investors AMA with Starlink from Binance Smart Chain, and they are a how do I put this? I don't want to offend anybody. They are not a fork of Horde. Okay, they have redesigned the Horde model, and they have customly developed their own version. And I believe that is the correct way to say this. And they have tweaked a few things. They have changed some of the tokenomics, the way the ecosystem works a little bit. It is interesting to say the least. They are still in pre-sale. This is a very good opportunity for us. So I'm happy to present this to everybody. I don't know if you're familiar with what Horde is, but Horde provides stable passive income through means of a stable price spot. The stable price spot buys when the price of the token falls below a certain range, and then the price bot sells the tokens when the price reaches a certain level from buy pressure. And by doing this, it gains profit first. It's making money by buying and selling, and it also stabilizes the price within a set range. And as long as their revenue is high enough to keep that price bot fed with enough money to trade the range, it keeps that range indefinitely, and your yield is actually stable. If you go look right now at Horde, HORDE, type it into Dex Screener, go look at the chart, put it on the daily, zoom out, look at the chart. It's some freak shit. Okay. And if they're able to pull this off with Starlink, then it's going to be a very impressive opportunity for us getting into pre-sale. The pre-sale is still 80%, 70% sold out. So we're going to post links. Morgan and Deck, you're going to post links into the AMA chat, and we're going to pin them. All the relevant links will be there. Read through the stuff while we're chatting. And yeah, that's my introduction. But hello to the team. We have Deck here. We have Mr. Morgan, RM the third. And can you guys give us some background on yourselves and how you guys met and what made you want to build this?
I'll begin with the introduction. I just want to say thank you so much, Trading Tulips and Jet, for having us on this AMA. We really appreciate you guys taking the time and chatting with us and discussing further about the product we are building. My name is Robert Morgan III. I previously, before I got into DeFi, I was a software engineer and worked in traditional finances and centralized marketplaces and exchanges. During the pandemic of 2020, I started to research more about smart contract functionality and got into the Ethereum virtual machine and starting and playing around on their dApps. And about over the past year and a half or so, I ran a boutique style smart contract audit company. And then over that, I garnered a lot of connections in the development world and with a lot of people in DeFi. And it's been great. And we all kind of came together and we wanted to build the best product we could. And we realized how Horde's model was long-term substantial and how it was giving ROI out over a long period of time, 7-8 months. And I haven't seen something like this in DeFi. So we wanted to see how, as developers, we could scale it and make it more efficiently better and have a lower barrier of entry. And here we are.
Thank you. Deck, please. Your background?
Hey, how you doing, guys? I'm you can call me Deck. I'm a blockchain engineer. I'm the smart contract developer. Anything related to the technicals and anything, basically anything. I'm the one who built this contract and all of those price stabilizer and the token and all the dApp and backend and front end. So you have any question, let me know. I'll be here to answer all them all.
Can you tell me about your background, like previous protocols that you've worked on, if any, how many years experience you have with like coding before blockchain and with blockchain?
Sure. So I was involved in the 2017 bull run, and that's the time when I start coding. And I was already before that I was a Golang and C plus and C sharp developer. And starting on 2017, I'm starting to touching on a Solidity, Rust, Move, and also React and React dApp and other programming languages. So it's been about 5 years since I've been working for blockchain, and my main full-time job is actually a blockchain engineer for DACT, which is like a Golang specialist company. And I also these days I'm also doing smart contract and developing on the side as well.
Excellent. That's first time I've been like impressed with a dev coming from a project like this. So kudos. Um, that's really dope. Sounds like you guys actually have what you need to push this as far as development goes. So now, if you could, let's talk about Starlink and what makes it different, and if you could, what you think makes it better than Horde. Just go over. Let's review the basics of the protocol. There's people here who don't know what Horde is, so if you could, like, I'm a user. What's the process look like? There's going to be people here who want to buy pre-sale. Like what? How do we get involved? How do we mint? What does it look like getting yield? All of those things.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll begin and go over some fundamental terms of the macro outlook of it and basic terminology, and then Deck will go over some the technical terminology and dive a little bit deeper into the nitty gritty. But right off the bat, the one thing that we decided to change from what we saw with Horde was about 6 or 7 months ago, 8 months ago. Horde, it was $1,000. It's $1,000 for a Horde plot, right? A plot is kind of what you can stake or you farm in a sense that provides you with the passive income. So with Horde, it's 1,000 USD for a plot.
Do you know what the pre-sale was for Horde?
It was $10, right?
It was $10 for what though? It was 100 for plot, wasn't it? In the pre-sale. So
It was
$10.
100. So yeah, so it was 100 for a plot in the pre-sale, but right now it's 1,000 for a plot.
Right, because they're priced 10x, quite literally.
Yeah. So
pre-sale was 50.
50?
Okay, so yeah, bro. So this was okay. This was my one. Remember on the call yesterday, I was like, the thing about Horde was their price went fucking 20x from pre-sale before it went stable. Those dudes fucking bagged on a $50 plot. They're only they're getting 1.5% yield on 1K. Or 1%. Like, that's psychotic. So I want to hear that your model is going to be, it was 500 for the pre-sale plot. Is that what you're saying? One token. Okay.
Yeah.
He changed it. Okay. That makes more sense. That's much more.
Yeah, because I was like, I don't remember that exactly happening, but that was a long time ago. A lot's happened.
I know the token launched at $10 though. Did they do that on purpose? Like,
Yeah, the way how it is basically you cannot just have the whole, like, because he had the protocol like Horde. They have 1 million 1 token, right? If you add everything in at one with $100 per token, that will require you to like have you have to add $100 million dollar to your LP.
I understand.
So yeah, so the way how it works, it basically they are adding I don't know how much, but $10 per token, right? On launch.
Yeah.
And then they was having, I'm pretty sure either they bought it, or because the first day, if you take a look at it, on everything is showing on the chart. If you take a look at it, the first day, especially on the first hour on launch, they were having about like $500,000 of volume coming in. So either they're having their own market maker, or they just having some organic. Because at that time it was like March, right? So it's not it's not as bad as it is right now. But they're having like some buy volume coming in, and then everything just just coming in. It was the whole day was 2.3 millions, and
I know.
it was,
yeah. It seems to me like it was a combination of them buying with their price bought, right, to get cheap tokens, and then as buy pressure from the market also came in, FOMO'd it up to the price range, they stabilized it, and then they were able to sell down those tokens they bought at 10, sell them for 100, and they 10x'd on those. They were able to feed the bot some revenue, and it gave them a good, strong start, I believe. So you may want to look at their launch like as a way for you guys to maximize your revenue. I'm just saying that's going to help you stabilize. But anyway, please go on. I'm gonna keep on interrupting. It's just kind of what I do, but I like to dig into the technicals and the interesting nuances that a lot of people don't, because this is where the real profitability is. This ain't your granddaddy's AMA.
Yeah.
Well, we expected the gauntlet, so yeah, Deck and I are ready for that. So, but it being $500 for the pre-sale, right? For a plot, that's still what happened to Deck. He just freaking. Anyways, it was $500 for the plot on the pre-sale. For us, it's $125 for the pre-sale, right? And it's $250 at launch. So automatically, we're 50% cheaper. We wanted to create a lower barrier of entry because we realized people probably don't have $500 and $1,000 to throw around, like they did 7-8 months ago when the market was at its top and it was doing well and ETH was at 4K and everything was going up 100x, right? Since the pullback, we realized that we want to make our project and our product accessible to everyone. So we decided to put it on the Binance Smart Chain where gas fees are pretty much non-existent. It's a lower barrier of entry, and our satellites are not as expensive, and we can still provide that stable ROI. And it's 250% over 200 days instead of 300% over 300 days. And I can let Deck talk on the technical sides. So, Deck, you want to talk on the technical terms of how we're a little bit different than Horde on the back end and the front end side?
So, have you touched up on like the percentage and all those things too, like the way?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. So, basically, we have like the 1.25%. I think RM already told you guys about it. The 1.25% per day, 200 days compared to Horde, which is 1% a day for 300 days. So basically, we are paying a little bit less ROI, but we are helping investor ROI a little bit faster, right? Because we are paying only about 250% compared to the 300%, but we actually, get the investor ROI a little bit faster. And on the technical side, I built the price stabilizer on my own, so everything was start from scratch. And I study Horde, their liquidity management, right? The so-called liquidity management, which is like the same thing as the price stabilizer. And the way I study them and the way how their price stabilizer works is basically it acts like another liquidity, right? It's like a automatic liquidity dealer that exchange token for whatever pair they're pairing to. In this situation, they are pairing to BUSD, right? So think of their own price stabilizer as a wallet, a contract that contain BUSD and the native token, the Horde token. And whenever the price go into below certain range, it start dealing with the seller and the buyer directly instead of the buyer and the seller dealing with the liquidity pool. So after studying those, I figure that there's some minor improvement that can be done in order to make the contract dealing with the buying and the selling transaction a little bit more efficient. That's why I decided to build everything on my own, and also because Horde their LM, the liquidity management, is on a proxy. It's a proxy contract. That's why it's always being constantly updated, and no one actually having access to that. And because of that, and I'm pretty sure they are licensing it out to protocol who actually want to have a stable price like Horde. And I think they've been licensing them their LM for the past few months. So like quite a few protocol actually decide to use their license from the liquidity management. And we don't want that, right? We don't want to just waste any extra revenue or any extra money doing that. Why we can actually build it ourselves. So I decided to start everything out and end up testing everything and building them on testnet, make sure everything was smooth, and I'm pretty confident that we can keeping our price stabilizer can keep the price range from our desired range, which is 23 to $26. And the way how it works is will be very efficient in terms of like keeping the price and while also keeping the price stabilizer wallet in a very healthy and efficient manner in order to keep the price stable. Yeah, so the main thing that sets us apart from Horde is basically the way how we gonna distribute our treasury revenue, right? And I'm pretty sure RM can catch up a little bit more on those later on the topics. But if you have any
Yeah.
question on those technical, you can come. You can ask the question right now. Why I'm still blabbering about those. I kind of don't want to repeat myself a little bit too much.
No, that's fine. That's fine. You covered pretty much the majority of it. I mean, the main differences are seem to be tokenomic related and based off the size of the raise and the way the rollout is designed. Like those seem to be the primary differences. Like the tokenomics changes with the pricings and how many plots and things like that, or satellites, right? So I kind of am interested in your guys' strategy in expanding the price range. What is your guys' metric? What is your target revenue? What are you expecting? Have you crunched the numbers for what's necessary to keep the price bot afloat? We have seen project that was quite similar. Well, they had a price bot, but they didn't have any real they didn't have any volume. There was no volume. Okay. Basically, if you guys can get the volume and you can grow your revenue, the price bot is supposed to make money over time, right? If there's enough volume, the price bot actually makes money. But the issue and the concern is if you don't reach that volume, I'd like to know some of your creative strategies for, gaining interest from DeFi users who are going to give you that volume to get in. And kind of like, let's just start there. What are your strategies for partnerships and stuff like that?
Well, partnership wise, and so you want us to touch on the fundamental of how we expect to get volume when we launch. That's where you want me to start with.
Continuous volume over time. Yeah, because what I'm trying to tackle here is your growth, and let's just start with that.
Well, right off the bat, right, your technical foundationally when it comes to a project, everything has to be set up technically. The backend has to be tested. You have to go through multiple audits, rigorous and well-written suite of unit and regression tests on the back end to make sure the back end connects to the front end, all that thing. But also the most important thing, of course, in DeFi that we all know is exposure, right? Exposure is everything. And, thankfully, my team and I and everyone aboard of Starlink has been in DeFi for some time now. We've garnered great connections with influencers and AMA hosts like yourself. So post-launch, we have 3 AMAs lined up, pretty big. We have one with Obsidian Council. We have one with James Pelton. And we have one with DeFi Runner. And we have multiple follow-ups with AMA groups we've already done with multiple influencers. And also we have partnerships and talks with Chainlink because they provide a service that is, providing off-chain data, on-chain, and they have we have our own DEX, right, decentralized exchange. So we'll be able to use their price feed oracle, right? I've been able to integrate and collaborate with Chainlink over the years, helping projects use their services and integrate with them. I'm close with Chainlink Labs and their co-marketing directors, A.E. Reyes and Patrick Collins and their team there. So that's one of the partnerships we're looking forward to. And then we also look forward to collaborating and integrating with other projects, right? People say, oh, you're another liquidity management system, right? Who are you competing against? We don't look to compete against anyone. DeFi is too small and it's too immature to compete, right? We all have to collaborate and integrate together if we want to scale efficiently. So fundamentally, that's what we have right off the bat. And then we have a play to earn game and NFT boosters in development already that are ready to get sprung out a week or two after launch that can touch on that a little bit.
Yeah, I'd like to know about the game mechanism a bit. I guess before we get any further into your guys' future growth, we need to know about what could cause it, right? So, tell us about the game. Is there plans to evolve it? Like, wait, so you get a satellite. What happens? Like, I mint a satellite. Do I have to stake it? Do I just hold it in my wallet and claim? Like, what does that look like? And then what's the next step for the game?
Okay, so let's say after launch, right? Everything was smooth. Everything's come out like just perfect. With satellite, you holding your satellite in is will effectively increasing like earning reward on its own. You don't have to stake anything, and you can either claim it or you can either compound it, right? And let's just say if you later down the road, which is I think about a week because I have in plan for the NFT release. So we'll have our own NFT collections coming in, right? Which will be a 10K collection. Each wallet can only have up to 20 NFT per wallet. That's going to be the limit. And there will be five different tiers for the NFT, which would be like from common, uncommon, rare, epic to legendary, right? And each tier will have different min rate and with different percentage of boosting. So let's say a common tier will boost like a 0.01% of your satellite. Okay, it's just for now it's not like a fixed number yet, but it's just for example, right? So each NFT will have their own different boosting percentage. Yes, are you asking a question or something?
No, you can finish.
Okay.
I guess what you're explaining is the only real way to grow your. I mean, you can compound into more satellites, and then you're going to be having other tiers, right?
And no, and we will be so satellite will only have there's only one type of satellite, which is the one that you have to create with your Starlink token. But we will after so satellite is not an NFT. It's just a satellite. So consider that is not something that can be transferable or anything. But
Okay,
with
so the satellite is not an NFT.
yes, it's not an NFT.
Okay, is there a reason for that? I feel like it would be better off as an NFT. People would like the functionality.
Yeah, but sometimes the way how we look at it is the satellite will self-destroy in 200 days, right? And more often than not, having a satellite or having the flexibility of transferring them around will basically affect the volume of the protocol in a sense. Is it easy to understand? Because people rather than getting in with the fresh or like new fiat money, they rather buying off people from let's just say if a satellite is an NFT, they can just rather buy a secondary market, which will affect the volume, and volume for any protocol in this market is very crucial, right? And that's
So,
the reason why we decide to make it just not an NFT.
wouldn't there be a way for you to disable the like a marketplace from selling it, but allow it to be transferable from wallet to wallet? I'm not positive, but I think there is.
There's a way. There's a way.
Yeah.
And as soon as is like as soon as if there any community feedback coming out of it, we can definitely migrate to like a different system or something like that. It's not hard, but the way how I plan it in my right now is we don't want people to like start selling satellite and anything and affecting the growth of the protocol just for now. But let's
Yeah.
say for like later down the road, if anyone have a change in their mind or something like that, or if we have enough feedback from the community, we definitely gonna listen to those feedbacks in order to like make any adjustment as needed, right?
Yeah,
And
I can respect that. It's okay. Um,
yeah, so So the NFT will basically those 10,000 NFT will basically the only collection we have for now, and you need those booster not only as a booster for your satellite, but also the characters that will be be required to play to earn games.
Okay, so with the game, you start out with the satellite, and then there's going to be like a PFP NFT collection, or is this going to be just characters that are similarly just like you use? Like, I don't even know what you use to store the data for each of these accounts, but you're registering it to attach to a wallet address or something instead, and you're storing that info somewhere.
Yeah, there would be like a back end. Well, I have to prepare a small back end, to store all of those if we
Yeah.
needed to get all the login and stuff. But
How do you feel about that? Hang on. How do you feel about having a centralized data like that? Do you have plans for redundancies so that you have proper backups and nothing is lost? Because that's data security and data management's very serious with this kind of shit.
yeah, for sure. I actually have like connection with all of those, and I've been dealing with like a much bigger database before. So I don't think we ever get to like, let's just say 10,000 wallet anytime soon. But the way
Well,
I
that's
look
not
at it,
the concern would be losing the data and not having
yeah,
it properly backed up, not having a way to restore a backup in a timely manner, and having people with funds locked and stuff like that.
yeah. No. Like I'm already prepared for all of that because
Okay.
we've been building this for about a few months already.
All
We
right.
only
Great.
start raising fund for only the past I think the past 2 weeks. That's why not a lot of
Okay.
people have been being exposed, like having exposure to us yet.
Okay. Is this what I'm seeing in Q2, Q3, Q4? Like the docs. I don't want to laugh, but it says in the next couple of months you're gonna launch a sushi restaurant.
So, before my time in DeFi, I was able to garner connections with franchises and high institutional firms that have East Coast operators that have been working in the restaurant business for 20 to 25 years. And we realized to work as a treasury as a service model, on-chain investments don't work completely. So we have ventured off-chain, and one of the most profitable things we see in the restaurant business is absentee and operator hands-off only sushi restaurants. We have about 7 to 8 in the pipeline in Florida, North Carolina, and in New York that we're feeding through right now. We would be financing those out. And also those would be completely absentee off employees, overstaffed, back-end sushi chefs. And we realized that those cash flow could be 25 to 30% APY. Some of those restaurants bring in ridiculous numbers you couldn't imagine. The average sushi restaurant brings in about $100,000 of a margin for the owners a year. Some of the ones we were looking at are much, much bigger than that.
Okay, so I mean, that's pretty early to be diversifying into like actual assets, is it not? I mean,
Well, yeah, but we've had a lot of success to this pre-sale so far, so it gives us the leverage and kind of puts us a few steps ahead. So it's actually a good thing rather than a bad thing because we've seen on-chain investments solely never
yeah,
work.
you're telling me. Well, it depends on who's managing them.
Absolutely.
That's the facts. And if you're not suited to properly manage them, and you're telling me that you could do this better, that would be acceptable, I suppose. But my concern is this early in the game. When you're getting a lot of newer money, this is your opportunity to have strong growth.
Mm-hmm.
And utilize that for some high velocity things.
Absolutely.
Instead, or I mean, perhaps you could diversify it and work out like a nice spread and get a sushi restaurant or get two, and then slowly acquire more as you go or some shit. If it's really as simple as you're making it seem, it's hands off. You know.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree with what you're saying, but you have to realize when it comes to buying a restaurant, it takes a long time. Right? That financing, those negotiations, looking through the tax returns, the books, going through with the landlord takes takes a month or two, maybe 3 months. So it's
Easy.
better for us to
But
now
that's
build a
another
pipeline.
concern. That's another concern is these DJs ain't gonna fucking wait. You know what I mean? Like for their yield.
But
you
yeah,
know?
but we have the majority of our investments are on chain that are going to provide APY rather quickly. But we realize with off chain, it's going to be more stable APY where people can throw in lots of liquidity and still get sustainable ROI.
I mean, I can agree
So
that
it's diversifying, right? We've seen before with 3AC, right?
Let me rewind.
With
Real quick. What percentage of your like treasury are you talking about doing this with? Like what percentage are you talking about taking off chain?
See, now that's going to be a conversation where we're going to have to be flexible, and we got to see because these restaurants, right, vary in
Just-
prices pretty drastically.
Just
So
ballpark.
it's going to vary.
If you had an optimal number you wanted split across volatile crypto assets and more stable, like real world brick and mortar, maybe businesses or real estate, like, what would you like that to be?
So ideally, right, for financing out a restaurant, it could be 5 to 10% of the treasury, right? Because we finance it, you put 10% down, right? So if we have massive volume off the first day and we have good exposure, then that gives us a lot of room to diversify and really leverage our treasury. So it won't be it doesn't have to be a massive amount of the treasury, right? Since we're financing it, we're not buying it cash.
You also may be coming out of pocket for multiple months until things are actually profitable. So that's another concern there, right? Where it may actually end up siphoning 25% over 6 months before you actually see some return. That's a potential too, is it not?
Yeah. All those options are viable potentials. But with the restaurants we're looking at, their franchises have been around 20, 25 years. The two most important things when you look at restaurants: great location, great clientele, loyal clientele. And these are restaurants with massive cash flow. We would not look at anything besides that, right? It would have to be a guaranteed win for us to even go through with it. And it'd have to be around for multiple years, decades. So yeah. I understand what you're saying, but we're not investing in restaurants that have been around for 2 years. These have been around 20 plus years.
And to be fair, like if there was like some random BSC project that like came in here shilling this shit, I would fucking absolutely burn them to the ground. But I talked with Mr. RM3 yesterday and got a little bit about his background and his connections in the Web2 world and things like that. And some of these things, this stuff's very legitimate. Okay, this is all very, very possible that this stuff actually happens to you guys. So it's also possible that things fall through and it doesn't work out. And DeFi is unpredictable. We don't know what can happen, right? Maybe they need to inject more money into the trading bot than expected, and it destabilizes things for a bit. They have to curve, but the point is this is actually acquirable for them. So take that seriously. I know a lot of people would probably scoff at this in a normal fucking DeFi scenario when they're hearing some Binance project talk about buying a fucking sushi restaurant, right? It's like, yeah, fucking right, dude. Okay.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah.
So I want to clarify because this is different, and I if you can't tell by the poise in his voice and how he carries himself, then take it from me because we chatted already. If he has the experience and the connections to pull this stuff off, it's just there's obviously other variables. So I think this is a very interesting project. I think I'm excited to see how it plays out. I'm gonna jump into the pre-sale as long as I can here for a little bit and play the game. I think that it's ultimately going to come down to clever marketing, guerrilla marketing, keeping your community engaged, getting socials hot, and like you have to pay some influencers. You're gonna have to do the fucking things, get your hands dirty, get some people to jump in the shitcoin channels and fucking promote the fuck out of this, and let them know that they're missing out on the next horde. Because the people who know, and there's a lot of fucking money who missed out on horde that wish they didn't.
Yeah, there is
something I think you should do. If I'll just give one bit of advice before I go to community questions. I think that you really need to look at how to target those people. And one way to do that would be to project your growth first off. You get some numbers, ballpark numbers over the next, say, 2 years, and then show that you're going to be raising the price range of the token, right, with the bot over time. As your revenue increases, as your asset value increases, you raise the value of the bot 10% a month or 10% every 6 months, and you show that curve and you show the linear growth of your price bot. So people are going to be earning 1% on an increasing asset.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. That's a super smart idea. You know, give something to the people that's concrete and tangible.
Yeah, but low ball the numbers, make it realistic. But when they see a linear path going up on a token that's giving yield, it's hard to resist it. I'm telling you, like, that's a marketing tool that you'll be able to utilize 100%. So
Yeah, I like that. Awesome. Appreciate the
little,
advice, my man.
yeah, of
Little
course.
tidbit.
Yes, sir. It's just the tip of the iceberg. Let me go to some community questions here. Why did you choose BNB? And why do you think it's a good idea to launch in this market condition? I would have to say that is a great question.
So we decided to build on the Binance Smart Chain as it's the second largest chain, and it also happens to be one of the cheapest, right? And we've built many dApps. I've audited many projects on the Binance Smart Chain, and I've grown very fond of the community and working on that chain. So it was an easy decision for us to build on this Binance Smart Chain because primarily the low gas fees, right? Building on Ethereum is kind of a pain when people have to pay $200-$300 to buy like for gas fees. So that becomes a pain. And then why did you plan to launch in this kind of market conditions? Well, the thing is, when it comes to that, right, we have been building this out for the past 7 to 8 months, and we've been waiting for the perfect time to kind of release this product and make sure all the ducks are in a row. And unfortunately, we can't control the external macro outlook of what's going on all over the world and financially and economically. So we decided to launch, because we don't know what's going to happen. Things could get way worse. Things could get way better. So we decided to launch now when Horde was still having the success it was, and we still saw the fact that liquidity management systems were the way to go. So we decided to launch now. I don't know if you want to touch on that question either, but it was a tough decision, but you have to realize that things in the market could get way worse. I've been around 2017 and 2015, and it can always get worse, especially now with all the macro outlooks.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the argument, right? With such uncertainty and then more downside expected. I mean, there's two scenarios, right? I mean, you launch, it goes down further, it hurts you because you don't get the volume that you need, or you wait and it's already down further and it's consolidating sideways and everybody is depressed and has no money anyway. So it's kind of like there is no great outlook right now for anybody launching.
Wow.
And I think it's really up to quality people doing quality shit. And if they are, we're going to see people who are surviving through this. And then, I mean, you got some balls doing this, launching and doing this right now. And I got to say, there's a lot of people launching all over doing stuff right now. And a lot of it feels like a cash grab to me. People chasing grants and just launching on chains so that the blockchain is their friend and they get the VCs in their back pocket and all this shit. That's happening everywhere right now. Like Arbitrum, Optimism, fucking Near, like Aurora. People are just chasing VCs trying to get money in their pocket for building and literally copy pasting some protocol from another chain and just bringing it to their chain. But
Yeah.
anyway, that is running rampant right now. But I can say right now that there's something different here. Like, you guys are actually, behind this. If this is your shit. It's not like you are here for a grant and you're going back to fucking, some other blockchain or some shit. Like, this is very different in that regard. So I'll just say that. What is Galaxy Swap?
So Galaxy is our swap where you'll be able to trade our native token. It's our own DEX, and it's going to be feeless, so like we don't take any fees from that DEX. So it'll be an easier experience, a user-friendly experience for you guys. And then over time, we will look to maybe add in some other price feeds and tokens onto that swap as well. But as of right now, it's just
why not partner with a popular DEX, launch liquidity, have the opportunity to launch an LP farm, give your users something else to do with their tokens, perhaps besides sell them or compound.
Hold on. So liquidity is still on PancakeSwap. So the way how Galaxy is swapped, so the liquidity, the LP is still on Pancake.
Okay.
Right. So Galaxy Swap is basically the way how I do it by rerouting the router. So basically use all the LP still on Pancake, but the router I move it through a different router where you have to trade on Galaxy Swap in order to first of all prevent bot. Second of all is prevent all of those sandwiches bot and also MEV bot as well.
Yeah.
So anything come into mind to ensure the launch is not being botted, because end of the day we all know how important it is to have a successful launch for this kind of project, right? Volume coming in, everything is so important. That's why I designed Galaxy Swap for this, and you can only trade our token on Galaxy Swap even though LP is still on Pancake. And I mean,
so you can't go to Pancake and swap it?
I mean, no, in a sense you can still record everything.
That's okay. Hang on. So you're still getting LP fees from the swaps on the back end, or no?
Yes, still everything's still going to the LP. It's still a protocol on own liquidity. The whole LP is still on Pancake at the sense, but you have to trade through Galaxy Swap.
That's like fucking kind of genius. Like, did you design that yourself?
Yeah, I mean it's not hard to do it. It's just a couple of touch up on the router. So everything you still go into the router. Basically, imagine like.
Oh, you're back. Hang on. Can you tell me if you designed this yourself, the Galaxy Swap thing, or is this was from somebody else?
No, I mean I do it myself. It's not.
Yeah, he designed it himself.
Yeah, it's not rocket science. It's just we change.
I've never
it's
seen
like
somebody do this though. It's just very smart shit. It's just the idea, the problem you solve, seeing the problem and solving it that most people don't see, right? Like.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure there's gonna be like hundred of bots out there, sniping any function of like adding LP. They will be sniping the hell out like any launch on on adding LP. So it's think of the Galaxy Swap is more like a VPN for your trading. So like anything have to go through that in order to get to their internet.
I understand. That's why I'm impressed. Yeah. Okay. That's dope, and that gives me even more confidence in your development skills, and your ability to innovate. So that's great. When is the P2E game gonna launch? Do you think? Games are not easy. This is probably the scariest part on your projection for me or your roadmap is the game.
So I have the NFTs coming out 2 weeks, right? One or 2 weeks, I will be releasing the NFT, and the play to earn game, the V1 will be available end of October, early November, which is about only one month from now. And the play to earn game, the
basic like staking and like a wolf game or some shit. What is the plan with that?
So are you talking about the game, or are you talking about
like when you get a character? What does this look like? I think that's the question.
Okay, sure. So 1 month from now, I would say about end of October, early November, we have the first version of the games. You can use the characters, the NFT characters, and you're either forming a team, or maybe do a single player, and playing against each other player. And 10,000 NFT will be split into 4 faction, right? So basically 4 faction. Each faction have 2,500 NFTs, and we will have like a weekly leaderboard.
Okay.
Like
So this is like a strategy game or like
yeah, it's a simulation to earn games with
okay.
a Star War background. So like imagine 4 faction with all like the battleship, and you have different characters, and all the characters have different tiers, and each of their
Like StarCraft
NFT.
or some shit, or or is it more just like you assemble an army and then they simulate a battle?
Yeah, so something like that. So like different ability, different attack, defense, and all of those stats will be we will release all of those details like slowly week by week. So then we have some announcement for people to like look forward to for our investor. And the every week there will be like a leaderboard. With the leaderboard, basically you have the winning faction and the losing faction, right? And the winning faction basically will earn extra yield for their satellites. So let's say instead
Okay.
of the 1.25, they will earn
I
1.
like that. Hang on. Before we get into like that stuff, like my biggest concern is your guys' ability to develop an actual functioning game. So if it's like if you're telling me it's a more limited, like simulated battle, that is more attainable, that's more doable. It's very difficult to build out an entire game. Like if you're talking about like people controlling like design in Unity or some shit, like it's going to cost hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars just to make the game with an actual gaming firm. Like you could probably get a nice P2E game working on the website with enough time, but it's going to be a more basic version, right? Like click and attack, and
Yeah.
it's not going to be a full game. So I just wanted to clarify, because if you're telling me you're going to have like three-dimensional Unity based like shoot 'em
Nah.
up in a spaceship, then that's a little different, right?
Yeah, that's a little bit on the upper end. Since I'm working everything on my own. I'm also a front end developer too. So there will be some visual. Don't get me wrong. There will be some some effects, some visual, some but it's not like a full fledged kind of game. It's just it's all those kind of game will require at least like a few months and a lot of funding in order to achieve that. And
Yeah, I would much
even
rather hear you
yeah.
say this. That's fine. I don't want to hear you say you're building out fucking a Star Wars like Old Republic fork or some shit. Like that's psycho. So yeah, good. Thank you. That's we can close that. That's obtainable and that's great. Yes, they are audited. Shin Spade. They have KYC. The treasury is going to be used for various things we discussed. What is the background behind naming the project Starlink? Is there any connections, or do you guys like Elon Musk or SpaceX?
But there is a reason behind the name Starlink. There's a reason we didn't. So there you have it as one word Starlink. We have it as two as Starlink. There is a reason that we will release later down the roadmap when the project scales. But there is.
There is a reason.
Indirectly.
Well,
Yes,
yeah. You can't elaborate?
I can't elaborate quite yet. Can't elaborate quite yet. Trading tulips. I'm sorry, but I can't do it quite yet. We will in perfect timing.
All right. Can we get whitelisted for the ongoing No need to get whitelisted, Rex. You can go on and go buy your shit right now. Just click the link. It should be pinned.
Yeah, let me drop it in that chat. I put in the other one.
Yeah. And Rex, you asked if there's any whale control. We covered the galaxy swap and how that is going to be preventing the botting. There isn't any necessary. I don't believe you guys have max wallet sizes set up, or the only
Yes.
thing I see is 100 max satellites per wallet. So,
Yeah.
what about token max allocation? What's that like?
Was that a 1,000 deck? Because 1,000 VEGSLS is 100 sats, right?
Yeah.
Is that
So
the limit we have?
yeah, but the thing like you cannot dump any of the pre-sale token on
Yeah.
on launch because it's not it's a V, it's a VAR token, right? So it's not like an actual token, and you
It's an
cannot be dumping
1120
on.
or 1155. I mean.
Yeah, 1155.
Yeah. Okay.
So you can only redeem that for an actual satellite. So
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, yeah, that's another whale mechanism, like protection mechanism, is that people have to purchase through the site pre-sale tokens, and you can only redeem them for the satellites that earn yield. So you can't actually sell them; they're not redeemable for tokens. That also protects. There's 1,000 token limit for the wallet, and then 100 satellite limit for the wallet. So technically, you can have 100 satellites and 1,000 tokens, but then you're not going to be able to claim your yield. I'd like to see you guys start talking about partnerships with potential people who might want to give you guys LP farms. There's ways that you guys could potentially have people claiming their tokens, and then like I understand you want them compounding for now back in and making more satellites, but as you guys begin to grow, increasing liquidity across the network into various dexes is going to be the way that your token gains use case and gains credibility. So that's going to be something that you guys should want to talk about, looking forward. What decks, how can you guys get them to offer APRs on your pools, and why would they want to do that? Those are all things that you should be looking for the future. That's stuff that I would like to see. Do you have plans about the MVP? And this is from Rect as well. People like to hear that you're pursuing MVP or at least looking that direction when possible. That's the most valuable builder program for Binance.
oh, yeah, I never heard about that. Is it like a little hackathon or something like that, or you actually can apply for that, or is that like a builder reward program?
Yeah, it's a builder program. That's exactly right. And they reward builders, and you guys get. I don't know where it comes from exactly, but they have a set amount of BNB tokens that are set aside for quality builders. Who are
Oh,
actually
yeah,
trying to help the space.
yeah, because the way how I think it is, because I used to work for a couple of projects on Metis, right? And they have like $100
Metis,
million.
interesting. I have a DeFi protocol on Metis. Who did you work for?
Uh, I used to have a couple of things working with Maya. They're still working now. But I'm not working with them anymore. But I was like touching a little bit on contract with Maya and Hermes.
Wow,
I don't know if you know about them.
they are our like top partner, bro. We are very close with them. Hermes and Maida.
They're still thriving, I think.
They are
But
doing amazingly well. We are holding a very large VE NFT, and we are very excited about the future. So, they're going to be going omni-chain, going to Arbitrum, directing emissions via UniV3, and it's going to be really exciting stuff. We're trying to push the limits of DeFi 3.0, baby. So, yeah, exciting stuff. But that's cool to know that you worked with them, dude. That gives you even more. You should have mentioned that in the fucking beginning, like
I
straight
mean,
up.
at first in the beginning they were starting out as on forks, right? And people don't take on forks like too serious in a sense. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know if you looked, but they're paying out real yield from MayaDAO now from the revenue that they've generated. Token is like doing actually very well, surprisingly. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's been a while. I was talking with them, but like yeah, I was just touching on the Metis builder program, and some protocol actually never get paid because it just some people just waiting a few months already because they have like a builder program where you earn
you know
some.
about that? People weren't getting paid. They didn't pay us for months. We had to fucking shake them down, bro. Turn them upside down, take their lunch money.
Yeah, freaking Metis. I mean, it used to be like I guess the next thing, and I love Metis. Don't get me wrong, the whole chain was just the way how it is, all the
Work
transaction and
great.
stuff. I just love it. Like compared to like Arbitrum or like OP. I mean,
Yeah.
Arbitrum and OP is just heavily VC back. So just cannot compare
Yeah.
it to Madison. It's just like, you know, like a from Vitalik mom basement kitchen or whatever it is, you know. Just cannot compare to that. So, like, I cannot blame for, you know, whatever
Yeah.
reason.
Let me just say,
Yeah.
I'll agree. They have some issues with their business development over there. I mean, it seems like they're starting to get it under control. The community has been very vocal about their mismanagement of what they're doing over on Metis Chain, but
One of
we've
the
been trying to help.
lockdown.
We've been trying to help and nudge them in the right direction. We're trying to push a partnership and really help get some organic building over there if they're willing to listen. But it's been a kind of a battle, but we're working towards it. We're going omni-chain with our protocol, kind of for that reason. But you know, if we're still going to be working with the people on chain on Metis and all that stuff. But anyway, I don't want to get too far off topic.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's not go off topic. Let's just get back to
Yeah, we can.
Starlink.
You guys can hang out afterwards, and we'll talk after we end the recording. So yeah, the satellite Archie, the satellite is not an NFT. It means it will not be tradable, at least for the foreseeable future. But they said that they're willing to pivot and maybe enable it for trading later if the community wants it. But it's important that they stabilize the protocol and get their revenue up in order to be successful. Rex, if you guys were to summarize the whole Starlink project into one word, what would it be and why? One word or sentence.
I just gonna say passive income, stable passive income. That everybody looking forward to that, right?
I would say one sentence: stable ROI to a diversified treasury, and an LMS system that's already been proved.
All right, work for me. Rex coming with the heat. White paper is launched, sir. Meh. All right. Number 7. Have you done any fundraising apart from the pre-sale? We kind of asked about the partnerships already. But maybe let's touch on it again. Is there any other fundraising that you guys are doing outside of the pre-sale, or is this the only fundraising?
This is the only fundraising.
Okay. I didn't know you started on AVAX. Can you tell me what happened? Jedediah just had a question about that.
Yeah, we started on AVAX, but we decided it was best for us to transfer the Binance Smart Chain. We were inspired by, if you guys are familiar with nodes back in the day, Fire and Strong. But after about 2 weeks of watching that disaster, we realized those were not long-term substantial or sustainable. So we then pivoted, as it is crucial to be flexible in this space. So then we pivoted the Binance Smart Chain.
All right. But AVAX, it's the blockchain of blockchains.
I love AVAX, dude. You have no idea. It's like
All
my
right.
favorite blockchain.
It's good. It's good when it's good. Unless there's a hype launch, you gotta fucking wait 5 minutes for a transaction.
Come on, it was pretty good back in the day.
It was fun. It had a
Yeah.
season. It had a great season, bro. Don't
It
get me
did.
wrong. Each chain had their time. Yeah, the light paper is what I was talking about, Rex. Is there a full white paper, you guys?
It will be coming out right after we launch. We're getting it redesigned right now.
Where's the Git book at?
That's what we're doing as well too.
Come on now. Better have that out. I want that.
I got you.
All right, we got through most of them. Yeah, there is a cap on satellites, 100 per wallet. Yep, you guys answered that. Yep, grill them on the white paper. We deserve that. Don't let it slide.
Yes. I won't. We'll put into a Git book. I really like Git books. They're really compact and they're easy to use through sections and stuff. They're better than any of the old white papers where they would put them in a PDF or something. You have to scroll through like 50 pages. Git books are the new way.
All right, well, if you guys could give me a closing statement. One thing you want to just say to wrap up. Why should everybody be aping into this pre-sale right now? Because they better hurry up and do it before I go do it. Right?
Well, with my closing statement, I just want to thank you, Jet, Crazy Talk, Trading Tulips. I really appreciate you guys having us on, giving us the exposure that we need when it comes to this product and service. And I just want to say thank you all for coming in and listening to us, talk about our project and what we're building. And really, it's everything's about community collaboration and integration, and really us moving forward has been great because our community has grown and grown organically, and we've met some great people throughout the way, and it just keeps getting better and better. And community is everything in crypto. And with this coming up, we launch in about 2 days time now, about an hour and a day and 12 hours, and 50% off of the launch price, and you ROI in 40 days instead of 100 days when you participate in this pre-sale. So it's really a win-win, and we've raised so much that we're able to run the liquidity management system effectively over a good duration, and that we're already steps ahead of where we thought we would have been. So it's been going really well. And if Deck wants to touch on anything I've missed, go ahead, my man.
I think that's be all for today. I think we've been, the AMA been going on for about like an hour plus. So thank you all. Like, just very grateful to be here, and thanks for listening to us, and come check us out on Discord. And I would say I'm just focusing on launch right now. So I don't usually RM is our space guy, our AMA guy. He's just more fluent, and he's already he's just more vocal and just more expressive more than me, and more like a technical guy. So sometimes you don't really understand what I was trying to say. I'm very sorry, because kind of nerding out sometimes. But yeah, so come check us out on Discord.
I think you did a great job, actually.
Yeah, you did a great job.
Yeah, man.
And you also understand each person has their strengths, right? And it's all good. And as long as we understand that, there's no harm done. So yeah, I appreciate you coming up here and answering the hard questions, and you did great, dude. I'm happy about it. So thank you.
And thank you guys. Also, I want to mention one thing. We actually, so when you join our Discord and you see, we actually have a community made calculator where you're going to be able to calculate your ROI and how fast you get it and the percentages and everything. One of our community members made it, and it's in our Discord. So when you participate, you'll be able to see the metrics of how the ROI will work.
Cool. We have a concern. I want to challenge you, dude. Archie's not happy that there's no white paper before the pre-sale, and I kind of agree. I would like to challenge you to have the fucking white paper done and uploaded to Gitbook and on your fucking domain in like 4 hours, dude. It can take you longer than that. I'm sure you have all the material.
Yeah, I will contact the team. We are getting started on that already. It's just putting the designs together and adding it to the website.
In the Gitbook, you don't need designs. You just need the text.
Agreed. Yep.
So
we'll do. I'll message them right now.
If you can get that shit done, I mean, I know that, yeah, if there's anybody who had hesitation because of that, that would fix that. Yeah, anyway, do that, bro, and I guarantee you're going to get more money in, especially if you fucking promote those docs well, because that's what people want to see. They want to see the technical. But anyway, yeah. This has been our 33rd Investors AMA with Starlink on Binance Smart Chain here at the TulipDAO, where we provide deep dive AMAs, KYCs, and security audits. So get you some credibility. Let's go.
Let's go.